The following is a semi-professional attempt at humor. The jokes contained within are intended for a mature audience. Not 18, we aren't cops, but we will occasionally say things that you find offensive. If you do get offended by our videos, make sure to keep any hate in the comments section where it belongs, or write about it on your blog. Above all else, try to have fun and remember, nothing matters. Welcome back, nondescripts, to another exciting episode of Nihilhalla. We are about to send Jeb into orbit. Jeb, good luck, and god-ish speed.
Look at that. It's going smooth.
Yeah, we are not going very fast.
Don't
yet.
Rockets need wingdings, though? Or
Not always.
not always? Oh, Jesus. That's pretty straight, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to do that. That's why it's called a blaster rocket.
Oh, okay. Does this get better?
Yes. Yes, we're doing like almost 100... Actually, we're about 150 meters per second. We haven't even hit 2,000 meters of elevation yet. So, we're now... we're going to be screaming into orbit pretty soon here.
So are you controlling all this right now?
Yeah, I'm just pushing the space bar, basically. Like, I've got the stability assist on so that it's basically locked at 000. So that we're always going straight up, and I'm just hitting the space bar to advance the stage and launch the next rocket booster.
To keep it consistent?
Yeah. Alright, so
holy shit.
Yeah, we're doing almost 1,200 meters per second, and we haven't even left the atmosphere yet. We almost overheated the parachute. So, when I did this the last time, I didn't have access to the heat shield, and I actually did this in campaign. So Jeb almost burned up on re-entry, so I had to redesign the rocket so that there was an extra RT5 on the re-entry portion so that I could slow down enough to where I didn't die on re-entry.
Did it work?
Yeah, actually it worked magnificently. It was hideous, but you know what the engineers say, if it's ugly but works, it's beautiful. For those of you who are not familiar with orbital mechanics, this trajectory here that we have would be fatal to an astronaut that did not have a heat shield, because they would come up to the apoapsis, or the highest point of the flight, and then as they came back down and started to accelerate, they would eventually hit, almost immediately, they would hit terminal velocity, and then the air friction would actually start to heat up the capsule to the point where...
So how come, like, the Red Bull dude didn't, like, burn up?
He had a specially designed suit with an intercooler in it, so...
Man, that shit was pretty cool. Like, everybody thought that was doofy, but I thought that was neat.
Well, I mean... to quote Cyberpunk, it had never been done before. So, you know, I'm surprised the guy actually survived it, but at the same time, fuck yeah, that's awesome. Alright, so the other problem that I've encountered doing these is... I was accelerating time so that this happened a little bit quicker, so you guys didn't have to watch the entire re-entry. That heat shield is hot as fuck. And once we get down to about 500 meters per second, we should be able to deploy the chute. Okay.
You are rocketing into the ground.
Yes, I noticed. Well, looks like it was fatal for a different reason. Alrighty. So, this has happened multiple times to me, and it never gets any easier. It really doesn't. So
what, killing poor Jeb?
Oh, no. Killing Jeb is easy as could possibly be. But the problem that I have is that it never seems to get easier to, like, design a spacecraft that can go straight up and then come straight back down. It just doesn't work. So we could try to design something that could go to another planet or try to orbit, but I think what we're going to do instead is fuck around with some spaceplane designs. I've made plenty of terrible spaceplane designs, so I'm going to try and start from scratch. I have a bit of a hard-on for the SR-71 Blackbird. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that plane, please read a fucking encyclopedia. It is the most amazing thing that mankind has ever come up with. Its actual tolerances for the actual, like, fuselage, it can do Mach 3. In upper atmosphere, it can actually go even faster than that, but for fear of a quote-unquote atmospheric event, The pilots were instructed not to go faster than Mach 3 unless they were evading a missile. It was actually in their user's manual, for lack of a better term, to throttle up to max to evade a missile instead of trying to actually take evasive maneuvers or use chaff or flares or anything like that. They were supposed to just throttle all the way up and just outrun the damn thing. Which in the grand scheme of things is fucking hilarious.
So are you building like the typical, I don't know, like toy rocket thing where it's like got the like NASA rocket you see on everything, on the patches and everything?
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Like, I guess I'm not just like describing what I feel like when I think of NASA and rockets. Yeah, it's like the airplane thing that...
Oh, the space shuttle.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no. I could build the space shuttle, like the actual space shuttle, but that would be a lot bigger.
Is that what's considered like a plane rocket or whatever?
A space plane?
Yeah.
The space shuttle was our first successful space plane. We had multiple designs for space planes before, like, the Challenger shuttle. I think it was the Challenger.
That exploded, yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes, unfortunately exploded. I wasn't being shitty.
Yeah. So... You'll notice, guys, that the editor isn't, like, the smoothest thing in the world to work with. And that's not my computer. That's just how the game's made.
Just kind of getting it on the finite part you want it to is kind of just fucky.
It's a pain in the ass. Let's not beat around the bush.
I didn't fucking program it. I don't know how to program. Far be it for me to shit on someone's job. I don't know how hard it is.
Well, you don't know how hard this is. You've had plenty of jobs in your life, from what you've told me.
Well, no, exactly. Whoa, what are those little fucking dingle hoppers?
Those are tail fins, or tail connectors. And what I'm going to do is
This thing looks like a butterfly.
It's not necessarily a revolutionary design, but I'm going to make sort of a weird sort of wingding creation and see what happens with it. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, well...
I mean, can you just put lots of wings on something and it'll fly better?
Sort of. Okay. You'll have more control over it, but, like...
Does this apply to real physics? Like, you can just strap a bunch of wings to shit?
No.
Oh, wait, I'm pretty sure there was a plane that I've seen before that had, like, 16 stacked wings.
Da Vinci made the world's first helicopter, and it flew almost as good as the B&H 900. That's a little bit of helicopter humor.
To be fair, Da Vinci's, like, design wasn't, you know, necessarily off. From what I hear,
it's sorry. Just the B&H 900 is not a real aircraft. I'm sorry, guys. I meant the AH-1Z Cobra.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. So
it's different aircraft. Honestly, as soon as a helicopter rolls off the assembly line, its job is to kill you, the pilot. And like anybody out there with your pilot's license for helicopters, you probably agree with me. Anybody who was Air Force, it's actually in the Air Force, like Airman's Manual. It says, like, if the wings are flying faster than the fuselage, then you're on a helicopter and therefore are not safe. Like, that's actually in...
Why do, at the Great Smoky Mountains, they put so many people in the helicopters to look at the Smoky Mountains?
Because those pilots have over 200 hours of flight time. That's another common term for aeronautics. Maybe it's not aeronautics specifically, but the 200th hour is the most common point at which somebody is going to make a colossal fuck up in their career. And I believe it started originally as a piloting term, but I could be wrong on that.
I have no idea, and I mean, you know, it's YouTube. I'm sure someone will correct you.
Oh yeah, make no mistake on that.
What the fuck is that?
Don't judge me.
Well, on the next episode, we're gonna make this fucking butterfly fly.